My name is Melanie Plesch, and I'm a professor of musicology at the Melbourne Conservatorium of Music, where I teach the first of the 3 music histories. And I'm also a musicologist, so I do research in music, in particular in music history. The major is suited to the type of people who always wants to know more about music rather than just playing it. I mean, you do play, but the ingredient that you definitely need to have is that passion for learning. If you find that you have this sort of hunger for further knowledge, if you want to know more about the context of the works you play or the history, you would like to study musicology. That's for you. Studying musicology could mean different things. We would tailor your studies around your interests. Critical thinking here is very important, You don't just sort of digest whatever information, say, the book gives you. You just say, well, why? And then you start digging. I love doing research. I have this insatiable curiosity about certain things. I'm constantly sort of digging, and I have had experiences like finding a lost work by a very important composer, being able to ascertain the identity of an anonymous person, finding lost music, things like that. What I love is to instill in students that curiosity. So then students can see the connection between musicology and performance, because in fact, without musicology, there wouldn't be any scores to play from. Generations of dedicated musicologists sort of dug up the manuscripts of composers and transcribed them into readable notation and eventually published them, and that's what you go and buy and play from. So it's a really fantastic work. Whether you end up being a music critic or having a radio program or teaching history, you acquire organizational skills, you acquire communication skills, you acquire high level of writing and presentation skills. Different lecturers might ask you to write program notes, to write essays, research essays. Of course, you need to do research that is rigorous and helps people beyond yourself. We have music history student conference where the best papers in the music history subjects are presented. So you do have a bit of a practice of what we musicologists normally do. For a musicology student, I think the campus experience would be quite positive. The lecture spaces are state-of-the-art. The music library, for instance, is a very, very nice place. It's sunny, full of spaces for study and also for group study. The library has the collected works of all the main composers, really access to nearly everything. If the material is not here and you're doing a major project on it, the university will get the material for you. So if you're doing research on any topic, you will not want in terms of resources. Very often I find students who did not think of musicology as an option initially in their careers. I really enjoy helping them through the process of realizing that they are actually good, that the skill can be learned. Then they realize, oh, I can do this. Oh, actually, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. For me, the moment in which I made my decision, I had done my entire performing career. One day I was in an archive and I was doing research and going from one manuscript to the other. And I look up and there's the janitor and says, "Madam, we're going to close." So I had spent more than 8 hours without moving from my chair, and I couldn't feel the time. It's like addictive. It's something that you cannot live without, So it's not so much about, am I good? If time sort of stands still when I'm doing research, clearly this is what I love.